and let us all do we can to build a better future.
Daniel, you.
Oh, yeah.
Go
And
ahead.
anyone in chat who has done the homework and seen it, help everyone else know why they should watch it.
There we go. Daniel, you got a story for the people. What is going on?
Okay, so on top of what just happened in LA, this is a little bit of a coinky dink, or maybe it's not. Millions of Americans are about to be homeless thanks to the Biden-Harris administration, because we have to
Wow.
talk about them now. And why is that? Well, we're going to tell you. At the end of this week, the federal moratorium protecting renters in the U.S. from eviction will end as the Delta variant of COVID-19 spreads quickly across the country. By the way, can someone in chat tell me if people are more or less likely to get sick with pandemics when they're, I don't know, homeless? As the variant of across the country and with vaccination rates still low in many areas at the highest risk of eviction. Also, let's just be real with the whole vaccination thing. The U.S. blew its reputation and its trust on being believed. So whether I know there's people even in our audience that are like, hey, it's a scam, it's not there. And then other people are like, no, it's something that we all have to do. It doesn't matter because there's no trust, and you can't get past that if there's no trust, and we're suffering the consequences of that. So millions of families could lose the safe haven of their homes. A surge in evictions will have a dire public health consequence. Actually, on that article, that phase you're going through, there should be a graph I want to really pull up that's somewhere a little bit lower, when we get to it at least. Originally enacted by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention 11 months ago, the eviction moratorium was established to prevent the spread of the virus among families and individuals that could be made homeless. As a public health measure, the moratorium was unprecedented and offered uniform protections to renters across the country. The moratorium's effect on eviction filings gave some sense of what may happen when it ends across 6 states and 31 cities tracked by the Eviction Lab throughout the pandemic. Landlords have submitted 351,816 eviction filings since the CDC moratorium was enacted. That's a sorry testament to the scale of the America's pre-pandemic evictions crisis that this represents an improvement in the status quo. Under normal pre-pandemic circumstances, more than twice as many eviction cases, more than 760,000, would file these jurisdictions over this period. So what they're really saying is that ever since the pandemic started, the amount of normal eviction processes that have happened has been cut in half just right there. So we're getting around 300,000 is the point they're making, when normally there are 760,000. So guess what's backed up and about to come out in the entire judicial system? More evictions. While estimating the scale of the problem is nearly impossible, increasing eviction rates and unnecessary COVID-19 infection and death is almost guaranteed. So again, we're killing people for money. This is the graph I wanted to show once we get it pulled up. So wait for that to go. They're also entirely preventable in the coming days and weeks. The actions of the federal, state, and local policymakers are critical. They should immediately adapt mechanisms that prevent evictions filings until rental assistance can be distributed, because if you were $4,000 in debt in your rent, or maybe $6,000 in debt, that's not going to change. No one has that money. Again, before the pandemic hit, Americans had $500 in their savings. So such an eviction diversion programs that increase housing stability while making landlords whole. In light of the acceleration of the Delta variant, Congress and state policymakers are also justified in temporary reinstitutions of the moratorium. And the article basically just goes to say that you could just not do this. You could just not have these people up. But if we see this right here, so there's if we go to the side that has those 3, that's what normal evictions look like. Then you have the pandemic happening, and then they have the moratorium kicking in. And there's another one I think that's on there that has that shows when that moment that we talked about at the beginning of the year. It was after I think January 1st. It's further down in the article, I believe. If not, it's fine. But
okay,
there was a very short point. There it is.
Okay, let's go ahead and look at that.
Okay, there it is. Where the moratorium was lifted. Remember that one time right in January? That's what that looked like.
My God.
So what are we about to see?
Well, what we're going to see, Daniel, is a lot of working class people in the United States, across the country, be evicted from their homes and apartments. And this is happening under the Democratic administration under Joe Biden, who was going to return the soul back to our country. The wonderful people. Actually, can we keep that graph up there? I just want people to see that little red bar and just how bad it's going to be for a lot of working class people. Because, again, this is a neoliberal nightmare that we are walking into. And never, ever, 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 ever forget that it was corporate media, the Hollywood actors and directors and producers, the bankers, the Wall Street executives, hedge fund managers, and even the wonderful people at the middle-aged McCarthyites, Sammy Boy Cedar and his co-host Emma Vigeland, so many other people who have gold-plated healthcare, who are promoting Joe Biden and Kamala Harris as Democratic lawmakers that are better than Trump. But here's the thing, at the end of the day, the Biden-Harris administration was just like the Trump-Pence administration. Nothing has fundamentally changed. The kids are still in cages. We're all still being screwed over. The top 1% are being taken care of. And if this fact hurts your feelings, too damn bad. So if you're diehard Democrat blue or diehard Republican red, as a voter, your two-party system doesn't care about you. You're not their number one constituent. Our government abandoned us in 2020, and they're going to do it again. And this time it's happening under a Democratic administration, a quote-unquote pragmatic administration. You know, remember Bernie Sanders' good friend, Joe Biden? Bernie Sanders, that's what you said about Joe Biden. He's your goddamn friend. He's your friend, and this is going to happen under his watch. Your friend, Bernie? Remember Bernie Sanders? You said he was your friend. In all debates, he's your friend, and you were carrying water for him like a good little boy. Even when Crystal Ball was just asking you really not a hard question, and you were squirming about this. This is going to happen. 30 to 40 million Americans are at risk of being evicted from their homes. Perhaps that number, dare I say it, I hate to say it, maybe that number's higher. Do I want to say 50 million? Do I want to say 60 million? How many people are going to be kicked out of their homes? How many people are going to lose their businesses? How many people are going to just go underwater with bankruptcy? But oh, wait, in L.A., which is home to the Young Turks, you can't set up any kind of encampments anywhere in the city because, Katzenberg, he just didn't like how it looked. I mean, I don't know what he said to those council members, but 13 council members out of 15 voted yes for this and was signed by the mayor. You would think that people would speak out. You would think more people would be angry with the Biden administration. But Biden, acting like the senile old bat that he is, he doesn't care. Or either he's trying to tell Congress to do something, but Congress is very soon going to go on their summer break. Isn't that nice? Oh, they get gold-plated health care, wonderful benefits, and they're going to go on a summer break.
Yeah.
It's a well-deserved summer break, right? They're going to screw the American people over again. So when anyone tells you on social media, especially those that have, gold-plated health care and a large social media following, when they say, don't protest in front of their homes, you can't be mean to them, or otherwise they're not going to give you anything. You know what? I'll be as mean to them as much as I want, when I want. And I don't owe these Democratic or Republican lawmakers a goddamn thing. All of us across this country have been screwed over, abused, and we're exhausted. So you know what? We push right the hell back. Because if we don't, they'll continue walking all over us. This is happening under Biden's administration. He's not doing much to really help us out. Already, we're not going to get Medicare for all. We're not going to get a $15 minimum wage increase. We're not going to get student debt forgiveness. Through executive order, Biden can do a lot. But he won't. And you want to know why? Because he doesn't care. Like any politician, he's a liar. He's a liar. He's a liar. So all you vote blue, no matter who, people who are getting fat off a brunch, you look mighty delicious, It wasn't the first time humans actually pushed back at the rich. And I heard one story where it got so bad that the people ate the rich. I don't know. I mean, and there has been a few other revolutions where the rich kind of, I don't know, something happened to them. Something happened in Russia one time, and something happened in France too. Something like a revolution, I think. I don't know, but, let's just face it, folks. We deserve better. We're entitled to better. So whether you're a Democrat, Republican, Independent, Libertarian, Socialist, Green, we're being screwed over. Our media doesn't care about us. Our politicians don't care about us. The banks are taking our homes. The Wall Street executives are getting fat. The hedge fund managers are just being lazy. What do we owe the system? Nothing. I can't think of any time growing up where a politician did something for us. So why should we bend over backwards and do anything for them? What do we owe them? Nothing. So you watching, you are entitled to much. You deserve much, and you have every right. You have every right to a lot of things, but you have every right to be angry. And never apologize. You don't owe anyone a goddamn thing. And these politicians owe us. They are the servants. We, the people, are the masters. Never forget that.